FIFA 22, EA Sports FIFA 22 comes out October 1st. It's the game that everybody talks about every single year. Who's going to be ranked? Who's going to be on the front cover? How good is it going to be from the previous one? And we have so much to discuss. It's a great Qué Golazo episode, FIFA 22 release, and we discuss the game flow, etc. Aaron West as well will join later on, but Qué Golazo begins right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Qué Golazo CBS Sports. Luis Miguel Echegaray here. By the way, thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Press that notification bell to get the new episodes. And on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher, and of course, CBS Sports and your CBS Sports app. Well, today is about FIFA 22 because if you're watching this, the game is out and everybody is excited. It's done incredible things for not just the avid football soccer fan, but really for the new one, the one that really wants to get interested. And I'm so happy to have Matthew Pryor, who's the Senior Games Design Director for EA Sports FIFA. So, Matthew, thank you so much for being part of the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. As you say, it's a very exciting time for us. So it's always happy to be on and talk to people like yourselves and our fans out there, because it's the point in the process where our kind of blood, sweat, and tears is actually shown to our fans. So it's an exciting time. We're always happy to talk about the game.
Absolutely. And listen, we wanted to obviously discuss and get into it, but a few things for our viewers and our listeners and gamers as well that may not know exactly your title. As I mentioned, you are the Senior Game Design Director. What does your day look like when you're building this game?
It varies depending on the stage of the game, to be honest. So right now we're obviously thinking about FIFA 22 because we never stop. Sorry, FIFA 23, I should say. I always get my years mixed up because we work years ahead. So we're in the process of kind of thinking what we want to do with the game, and that's primarily my role. To give it the elevator pitch, it's kind of coming up with the ideas of what we want to do, where we want to take the game, what we want to focus on. And then we kind of come up with the ideas, and the clever people, the coders and the like, then make those dreams a reality. So I'm the idea guy is the easy way to put it.
I like it, the idea guy. And you're always a step ahead because you always have to think about 23, as you mentioned. So this early, you're already thinking ahead for the next season.
That's great. Absolutely. I mean, we are perfectionists. I don't think we will ever release a FIFA that we are completely happy with because we always want to push it further. There's always more we want to do. So we always have one eye on the next year, and we inevitably never get to do everything we want to do because obviously time is limited. We have real world deadlines that aren't going to move. Unfortunately, the world of football isn't going to delay the start of the season because we have too many bugs to fix. So there's always things sacrifices we have to make. So yes, we've always got one eye on the future.
I love it. All right. Well, let's get straight into it. FIFA 22 is out October 1st. Kylian Mbappé once again on the front cover. Let me ask you first, what are some of the upgrades that we can expect in terms of user experience?
Yeah, so it's a massive year. It's a massive year for FIFA, and the main talking point this year is HyperMotion, which is a number of technologies that brings football's most realistic and immersive gameplay experience to life, like never before. And essentially, that the two main components of that is 11v11 match capture, where for the first time ever we've actually captured data from a match of two professional teams going against each other. I don't know if you may have seen in the past, traditionally we do motion capture in our studio in Vancouver, which is one of the biggest motion capture spaces in the world, but it's still not the size of a full football pitch. So traditionally we get 1, 2, 3, 4 players and we'll say do a tackle and we'll capture that. What this technology brings is the ability to capture all of the 22 players in their natural environment. So you get much more natural behavior. And you get so much more data, right? If you can imagine 22 players for 90 minutes, the amount of data that we collect is just phenomenal. So that's revolutionary. And then in hand with that, we've got a machine learning algorithm that can take all that data, and it sounds crazy, but can actually write animations within the game in real time. So previously, all the animations were created by animators. Now this algorithm can take all this data, some 8.7 million frames of data that we capture from these matches, and actually create animation real time in game. So it's incredibly exciting new tech. And cool thing is that this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. This is phase one of what will allow us to take this game to whole new levels.
So you simulated a full-on game, 11 on 11. You basically created that. Where was that?
So that was in Spain. It was two second division Spanish teams, and it was interesting because they all donned the motion capture or XN suits. You don't need to be in that space. So, like I say, it's revolutionary in the sense that you just get that full commitment, that full reality. And it's interesting because a lot of the data you get back, in addition to kind of the shots and the variation that gets, because you obviously get, so much data from that game, it's kind of the subtle nuances that you get, like the behavior off the ball, the pointing and talking to the teammates. And weird though it sounds, a lot of the kind of, when players fall over or trip, it's very hard to get them to do that in a motion capture space authentically. Right. You say, make a mistake, trip up. So it's a lot of the nuance of the data that we've captured that really adds to it.
I hear as well, by the way, and I did experience it as well, that goalkeepers now and how they operate, that's been modified as well. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so goalkeepers obviously one of the most important positions on the pitch. So one of the things we want to do is really kind of enhance that and give the personality, because not all goalkeepers are the same. You've got the sweeper keeper Neuers versus kind of the cat-like reflex of the other keepers. So again, we've got 600 animations in the game, and really kind of focused on the quality of those animations, and the ability to give keepers personality. So that's a whole new rewrite, and that is actually across both gens. Because one thing I should mention about HyperMotion specifically is that's a Gen 5 feature, because we really want to push the abilities of these consoles to the maximum. We take kind of the approach that, if you've been lucky enough to get your hands on a Gen 5 console, because they're kind of hard to get, you really want to feel that difference. So, you don't want to buy a racing car and then have to drive at 40 miles an hour. So we really pushed the power of these next gen consoles to their maximum. But obviously, there is still a lot of people out there who own the Gen 4 consoles and are super important. So we've also pushed those features as well. So the goalkeeper one you mentioned is actually a feature across both gens.
So when you're playing it, you actually are beginning now to feel more exactly what's happening to that player itself. If you save a free kick or something like that, and it becomes more intuitive, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the keeper is a key part of the game. It's the last line of defense. So it's a key that we have the intelligence and the reflexes and the authenticity reflected in that. So, there were certain issues previously. So that's why we kind of focused on that as a complete rewrite, because of the importance of that. And because across the game, not just the goalkeeper, we strive to give the players the personality they have in the real world. That's one of the things we always want to get. So when you see Neuer, it feels like Neuer, etc. So that was part of the reason we wanted to kind of focus on the keeper as well.
Hey, listen, let's talk about career mode as well and Ultimate Team. Any upgrades on that? I hear career mode, by the way, has really developed a lot more detail.
Yeah, so that's the thing. FIFA is essentially kind of 8 games in one. So it's like 8 games in one. So where we focus our effort is kind of key. And obviously the hypermotion and gameplay focus is across the game. But there's a lot of other features in the game, and career mode is obviously a big one for us. And yeah, we've made a lot of investment in that this year. We have brought a feature that people have been asking for a long time. So this is create your club. So Union can now create a club and place them anywhere in any of the leagues in the game. So if you want to go and compete in the EPL, you can put them in the EPL. Or alternatively, you can do the kind of rags to riches route and start off in the 4th division. That's the one I would recommend, because I think that's the nice kind of narrative and a narrative arc, and see if you can break into the top 5.
Absolutely. Work your way up. Absolutely.
Exactly. The path to glory. And you can do, so you pick your stadium, you can color the seats, you pick your crest, you pick your kit. So you really create it from the ground up. And you can also create the level. So we've given all the tools for people to create that kind of experience that they want. Like I say, there will be people that want to create an instant 5-star team and start in the top flight. You can create a half-star team and stop in the bottom flight. And also create your objectives, board objectives, financial objectives. So there's a lot of flexibility in the experience you can create. So that's super exciting. And then on the player side of things, because obviously there's two parts to career mode, we have career player and players player. A lot of effort gone into that. We have a whole new player growth system. So you earn XP by playing well and in training, and you get a visual feedback of when you're doing well. We have perks, so an extra layer of customization to your player. So, for example, you can pick the perk of defensive closer, and then in the last 15 minutes of a game, your defensive attributes will be boosted in that. And there's multiple different perks, so it really allows to build a player to your criteria. We have match objectives. So when you go into a game, obviously one of the main objectives throughout the game is to play well and earn your place on the starting 11. But in addition to that, we have 3 objectives at the beginning that are relevant to that match. So it can be things like, take 5 shots, get 10 touches. And the cool thing there is you can select one of those and kind of double down on it. And, if it's to get 10 touches, you can say, I'm going to go for that one. And it gets 20 touches, and then it gives you more XP. So what that does, it really gives every single game more meaning. There's goals above and beyond just playing well. We then have manager rating, which is basically a visual indicator of where you stand in the manager's eyes. So, you start as a sub, not getting much game time. As you play well, you want to break into the starting 11. So, and then there's a whole new presentation within players player as well. So lots happening in the world of career mode.
I love it. How about Volta? Did you make that? Volta was a nice little upgrade from on FIFA 21. How about now?
Yeah, so Volta still remains an important part of the game. It really, part of the motivation of doing that, it was a gateway to the casual. So you don't have to be a hardcore football fan to understand Volta. There's no offside rule. It's very kind of casual and friendly. So it remains that, and we want to kind of build on that. So we focus the gameplay on making it more flair-based. So there's, it's more about playing with style. You can build up this skill meter and get additional perks. We also have the new progression. So again, a whole new progression system within that of growing your player, and the perk system also applies to that. And then we also have arcade tournaments, which are these very kind of cool multiplayer mini games that you can play, things like dodgeball, and all these and foot tennis. So all these kind of cool little mini games that just make it a kind of a social and fun experience, which is kind of what we wanted to get to originally. So lots going on in Volta as well.
I love it, Matt. Very quickly, I did want to know, because obviously there's so much work in these games, and there's so much effort and the detail all the way from career mode to actually the HyperMotion, as you mentioned, and of course, making sure that every single detail suffices and is advanced for the user experience. How many people would you say, you don't have to, ballpark, work on a game like this?
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to put a definite number on, because there's so many support teams. QV, quality assurance, the people who test the game, which is why I started. That's where a lot of people start in the industry. There's support teams, like we have, teams that create the stadiums and all the rest of it. But it's close. I mean, all told, it's getting on close to. I mean, the core team is a few hundred, I think around about 300, but when then you factor everyone else in, it's closer to 1,000 people contributing to this. Wow. It really is a big title, and it takes a lot of effort to get it out the door every year. So, but like I say, passion drives it.
Absolutely. Passion drives it. And by the way, I'm hoping my friend Fernando Paloma, who does the Spanish commentating, and Derek Ray as well. Are they still around for this one?
They are still around. Yes. They're all there in all their glory, and they're doing a great job.
Fantastic. Well, Matthew Pryor, absolutely an absolute pleasure. The Senior Game Design Director for EA Sports FIFA 22 is out. And if you don't have it, what are you waiting for? Go and get it, because right after this call, I'm going to play myself. And I'm sure that I'll keep playing and be divorced within a month, because my wife will not be able to put up with it.
We've done our job then.
Matt, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Just wanted to end, if there's one reason to pick up FIFA 22, I know you mentioned HyperMotion and everything else, but if there's one reason to pick it up, what is it?
I think it is HyperMotion. Like I say, if you are lucky to own those next-gen consoles, this is the game that really kind of pushes that to its limits and really takes it to a next level. It's kind of a revolutionary step in the FIFA story. So this is really a great year to get into that, and HyperMotion is kind of really takes it to a whole new level. And like I say, this is just the first step on that road. So lots of exciting things to come in the future. The future is very bright and exciting in the world of FIFA.
I love it. That's a great way to end this conversation. Matthew Pryor, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining Qué Golazo on CBS Sports, my friend.
No problem. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. We will be right back with Aaron West as we'll discuss exactly how good this game is. Stay right here. Welcome back, everybody, to Qué Golazo, our FIFA 22 special. And now let's have some fun with my man, AW. Aaron, what's up, buddy?
What's really good? How you doing, Luis?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Always good to have you on Qué Golazo. By the way, if you haven't checked it out, check out Venezia special right there. It's on YouTube. You can see it. Aaron, man, you had a good time there, I feel. I'm so jealous, man. I want to go to Italy and eat some good food. What's going on?
It was a great time. I was just telling our producer before we started shooting, like, I've been to Italy a few times before, but Venice is just, it's a unique place. The club treated me really well. I think that, like, we put out a good product overall. It was just an enjoyable experience overall, and it's cool that we got to tell that story. So, and I'm very happy that I was the one to be able to tell that story.
Hell yeah, bro! They didn't take you to Siberia; they took you to Venice.
Right. I love that. I love that. I will take the Venice over Siberia trips every single time.
I hope we don't have any Siberian fans, but I totally agree. But no, absolutely.
I think they would also agree, though, even if they're from Siberia. They know.
Yeah, they're like, please take me to Venice. If that's not a Siberian accent, I apologize. But anyway, please watch that documentary. It was really, really amazing. But anyway, Aaron's not just here to talk about that and Serie A, which, by the way, you can watch on Paramount Plus, and you can catch Aaron on Calcio e Cappuccino as well. Let's talk some FIFA 22. We just had the main design director, Matthew Pryor, to talk about the game, HyperMotion, advances in career mode, etc. But Aaron, because you're such a huge gamer and also a consulting as well, advisor as well, just wanted to get your feel on FIFA 22. Tell me your initial reactions from the game.
It is so much different from FIFA 21. I think whereas FIFA 21 had a very kind of arcadey feel, the FIFAs of the last couple of years have had a very arcadey feel. This one is slowed down. It's more about passing and movement and what kind of combinations you can work rather than flashy dribbling and stringing skill moves together. It's so much different that it's hard. It's especially with FIFAs, it's very difficult to tell how it's going to end up in the game, especially when we're talking online and FIFA Ultimate Team, because no one's really trying to break the game yet. Everyone's just kind of fiddling around with it. They're trying to figure out how the controls work, what's different from last year. No one's really figured out the glitches or whatever it is. So it's kind of a free for all. I'm really enjoying it, and specifically with regards to the HyperMotion. Yeah. You can really kind of feel when you like strike a long ball that it actually looks like a player's body shape, looks like they're hitting a long ball. You can feel the contact with the haptic feedback, the way that they bring the ball down, the way that players react off a long ball, the way that they're reacting in in-game situations seems a lot more realistic. The in-game collisions seem a lot more realistic. There's still a few tweaks. It's really hard to score this year. It's super, super hard. The goalkeepers
that's what I've been hearing. That's the tough part. Yeah. Especially
they'll probably have a little bit of a goalkeeper nerf, because every single goalkeeper has turned into like a World Cup winner Manuel Neuer. Like, it's insane, right? But overall, I think it's a big change, and some people who might not like it so much are experiencing that. That's probably why. And the lack of goals, it can be frustrating. But overall, I think the change is good. I like a little bit more of a slower, more realistic pace where people actually trap and pass, and you have to actually the skill moves being nerfed a little bit is I know an annoyance for some of the higher level players, but I think overall there's going to be a good balance.
I like it. So talk to me about Ultimate Team then. How have you seen the development specifically with FIFA 22? Because that's always been a part of the game that I've enjoyed the most, I guess, because you're trying to build up on not just a quality star-studded lineup, but also going up against other people and sort of being careful in how you maneuver a specific squad and getting the right chemistry. How is that in FIFA 22?
That's always my favorite part, and they've made some pretty important tweaks. Most likely, I mean, namely two division rivals and weekend league. Weekend league is like the ultimate pinnacle. You qualify during the week playing in division rivals. You play your 30 games to try to get as many wins as you can to place in the world and get good rewards. But it was so many games, like 30 games of FIFA in one weekend it is insanity. So they've shortened that to 20 games. The qualification process is a whole lot different. There's a lot more and important things that happen during the week. So I think it's a good step forward for people who might not necessarily have all their time to play on the weekend or actually want to enjoy their weekend and touch grass and sometimes go outside. So I think they made like some smart tweaks overall. Last year, I think FIFA 21 in terms of Ultimate Team was one of the best content years we've ever seen in FIFA. Whereas the gameplay was a little bit suspect at times, the content was what like kept so many people coming back because so many special cards got released, so many objectives. And I think they'll continue that this year. I think they're on the right track.
That's great. How about career mode? Because one thing that we were talking about, by the way, was how much detail now you can create your own team and you can set them wherever. You can set them in the Premier League, in the 4th division. Have you been playing around with that a lot?
So I almost never, when I discovered Ultimate Team, it took career mode away from me. Like it was immediately, I was like, oh, here it is. This is what I've been looking for. Because I grew up playing Football Manager, Championship Manager.
Yes, I know.
I never really was a FIFA.
From college.
I literally talked about this. Yeah, I almost ruined my college. It did kind of ruin my GPA.
Yeah, it ruined mine. Yeah.
I almost didn't get out, period. But yeah, I haven't. So unfortunately for the career mode heads out there, I don't have much for you personally, but I have heard and read that there are a lot of changes, a lot of deep changes, a lot of like important tweaks to make it. Because career mode, people love to play the game for a long time. Yep. And when it gets to like year 20, they get a little bit upset when things aren't going the right way. And it's natural. It's the way you want it to be. You want to play deep. You want to craft your team. And you don't want it to, in year 19, year 20, start falling apart. So I think they've made some of the requisite tweaks to make it a very deep and playable experience. So I'm happy for those who love career mode.
Absolutely. And the same way when you do your own player career mode and you create your own player here, that journey is good too. All right. Well, listen, Aaron, is there anything specific that you're excited about to get more into it as well? As you mentioned at the very top of the segment that, you're still trying to get used to it. Obviously you still just got it, but is there anything that you really just can't wait to get yourself involved with FIFA 22?
Honestly, I just want to play more. We're at the point where you just like have to play the game and take those L's and just take your lumps so you get used to how players move, how the ball moves, how you receive the ball, how you pass it, everything. So what I'm looking forward to is learning the game and just starting to learn the little nuances of it. So honestly, my wife is watching this. I just need to play more video games for work.
This is the thing, Aaron West. I'm trying not to get divorced by Christmas because of FIFA 22, and you have children. At least you have children.
I know. I try to sneak them in during naps and after her bedtime. So that's the way to go.
I love it. But listen, Aaron West, of course, you can watch him on Couch Your Cappuccino, social part of the, as well as doing live Twitch live events as we're obviously playing Champions League and CONCACAF as we got the USMNT coming up. You excited about that roster or what?
I'm really excited to see what happens. Ricardo Pepi is on my mind. Honestly, I just got big Ricardo Pepi energy on all over the place.
Ricardo Pepi for life, brother. Absolutely right.
I might get it tatted. Who knows? We'll see.
Hey, listen, man, Aaron West, always a pleasure to have you on Qué Golazo FIFA 22. Make sure that you follow Aaron West everywhere on social, CBS Sports, etc. Aaron, thanks so much, man. Always a pleasure to have you.
Appreciate you having me, man. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, listen, everybody, make sure that you follow us on Qué Golazo Pod on Twitter. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and, of course, CBS Sports and your CBS Sports app. We will see you next time. Have a great one and enjoy FIFA 22.